What the f*** are you doing?
Originally, when I changed from the MX-5 into the M2, I thought it would clean up the racing. But changing cars doesn't change the chaos, only your license does. This week was different. Real D-class races, and honestly, some of the best racing I've had yet, depending on your definition of best. After a week of flinging a Formula Vee into the atmosphere and winning completely soulless races, getting back into the M2 felt stable, planted, predictable, like stepping out of a sketchy Tinder date and straight into a long-term relationship. I missed this thing. Thanks to that recent endurance race, my safety rating was already high enough for a C license. All I needed now was the minimum participation. But I didn't want to coast it in. I wanted to see what I could actually do in proper D-class fields. Can I race smart? Can I hold position? Or am I still just a rookie with better paperwork? This first race was fine. Not amazing, not awful, just fine. Only 7 people signed up. And that's the thing with this series, if you don't hit the sweet spot time-wise, the grids are pretty empty. And when they are, you get this bizarre mix. Some absolute aliens who've memorised every crack in the track surface, and then people like me, fresh out of rookies with PTSD from turn 1 dive bombs. I put it on P2 in qualifying. Don't ask how. Maybe everyone else was asleep, but I was feeling good. Then lap 1 happened. Rear-ended, spun and sent straight to the back. And while I was trying to claw my way back through, I kind of passed on the favour. Yeah. Sorry, Kane. I still finished 3rd though, so progress? Well, the kind of progress that loses you safety rating at least. This time, I actually found a race with a full grid. 18 cars. Finally, a proper field. But instead of being excited, I decided to do something much, much dumber. I started messing with the setup. This was my first non-fixed race, aside from the endurance, so I thought, hey, let's learn about fueling. Lower fuel, lighter car, faster laps, right? Well, no. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work like that. All it did was make the car feel like it had a death wish. The rear end was skittish, twitchy, every corner felt like it was trying to kill me. And because I'm an idiot, it didn't click that less fuel meant completely different weight balance. So I just kept sending it like nothing had changed and, well, paid the price. I basically had to relearn how to drive the M2 mid-race, and if you've ever tried to debug a setup while racing 17 other people at 120 miles an hour, well, you'll know how that went. I ended up 9th, dead centre of the pack. No progress, no idea what I was doing, but hey, at least I managed to lose some more safety ratings, so not a total waste. So yeah, fueling is a thing. Did I decide to add more fuel for the next one? Absolutely not. Did I learn to drive differently? Well, I gave it my best shot. This was the race. The one that reminded me why I love sim racing. I started down in P12. Another brilliant qualifying lap ruined by track limits. Classic. But this race wasn't about the result, it was about how I drove, and somehow, from this point on, everything just clicked. Rolling start, and I've already got problems. The guy in front of me is crawling. There's a 4-car gap ahead of him, and we haven't even gone green yet. I'm boxed in, already losing positions before the race has technically started. So I make a call. Get around him before T1. I don't want to be anywhere near him when the chaos kicks off. I swing wide, go for the outside line, and somehow it turns out to be one of the best decisions I've ever made. I come out of turn 1 feeling like Neo from the Matrix, dodging bullets. Complete carnage behind me and I'm up into 9th. But no time to celebrate. I've got a car in my mirrors already and I can tell he's pushing hard. Too hard. The tyres are still cold and he's squirming like he's driving on marbles. Ahead of me is the Monster Energy car, the same one that started the T1 chaos. So now I've got one guy behind who wants to send it, and one in front who, well, probably will. Sure enough, someone up front sends it through the chicane and loses it. Classic overconfidence, and what's wild is the exact same thing happens again at the next chicane. It's like it's contagious. But here's the thing, they're not rejoining like maniacs. They're actually waiting for traffic. This is the first real sign that I'm not in rookies anymore. People still spin, sure, but they're not trying to reverse into oncoming traffic anymore. Apparently D-Class teaches restraint, or at least self-awareness. Coming into Druids, I can see the guy behind still hasn't realised it's lap 1 and not lap 10. He carries too much speed into the corner, cold tyres, no grip, and around he goes. I finish lap 1 sitting in 7th, hot on the heels of the lime green monster car, and with no one breathing down my neck for the first time all week. It's time to go hunting. I already know there are a few spots on the track where I had a clear pace advantage over the monster car ahead, and the first one was coming up, the chicane. So I make a judgment call. If I stick right on his bumper, he's just going to slow me down through the tight section. But if I back off a little, give him space into the chicane, then get a far cleaner exit, I should be able to slingshot past him on the run up the hill. Shockingly, it works perfectly. We're side by side climbing the hill. I'm on the outside for the next corner. Not ideal, but I've got the track position, and part of me thinks maybe he'll back off. But the closer we get, the more it's obvious. He's not giving this up. Not for position, not for pride, and definitely not for physics. I turn in, leave way more than a car's width on the inside, and he still manages to understeer across the track and use me as a bumper to get round the next corner. The only positive I took is that despite the crash, none of his awful livery ended up on my car. And look, maybe I should have backed out, maybe I should have played it safer, but at some point, you've got to trust that the guy next to you has some common sense, right? Still, lesson learned, I think. I don't know, was that on me? Should I have backed out, or is there a point where you just expect people to know better? The next couple of laps, I'm glued to the back of the monster car. I mean, right there, inches off his bumper. But after what happened last time, I'm hesitant. I know I've got the pace, but I'm not sure I can trust him in a side-by-side again. Do I just sit here and pile on the pressure, hope he cracks under it, or do I send it again and risk another paint transfer moment? The longer I sit behind, the more time we're both losing. The leader's pulling away, and every lap I spend tucked behind this guy is a lap I could be pushing forward. But at the same time, I'm not here to throw it away on another ego duel. Then lap 4, it starts to unravel. He dives to the inside at Knickerbrook, goes ultra defensive and immediately regrets it. Little twitch of oversteer on entry kills his exit speed, and that's all I needed. I get the run out of the corner, hook it up perfectly through the right-hander and send it up the hill. By the time we're over Clay Hill, I'm through. Now I'm 6th. Clean air, time to focused. But no rest just yet. Next corner, I stumble onto someone moving like they're driving with a flat. I'm not sure what happened, maybe a hardware issue, maybe brain fog, but I had to thread the needle around the outside and pray they didn't drift wide. Thankfully they held the line, just barely. I'm still alive, still clean, and with that, I'm solidly into sixth. Up ahead, I catch a glimpse of the car in fifth. Radio call comes through with the split time. I lock in. Alright, head down. Now I've got a target. Let's close the gap. It doesn't take long before I'm right behind him. And just in time too. We're both barreling up on a lapped car. This could go either way, but if I play it right, this might work in my favour. And sure enough, he makes the wrong call. He swings wide, tries to go round the outside on the uphill section. From what I've seen in earlier races, that line rarely works. That's exactly why I didn't risk it with the monster car earlier. I go inside. The lapped car ends up boxing him in. He's going nowhere. I've got the better line, better speed, and nothing in my way. I sail past. 5th place. I can see 4th up the road, and I'm feeling sharp now. The car's light, the rhythm's there, and for once, I'm not overdriving. I start chipping away at the gap, 10th by 10th, corner by corner. But unfortunately, the laps run out. I close the distance, but not enough to make a move. This race symbolised everything finally clicking. Racecraft, focus, confidence. I'd won a race in the Formula Vee the week before by a huge margin, but weirdly that didn't feel like much, as I explained in my last video. This did, because this wasn't about raw pace, it was about pressure, decision making and learning. This one felt earned. It's my favourite race so far, not because of where I finished, but because I had to fight for it. Some races don't raise your licence, they raise your game. And this one did both. I'll see you all in the next one.